So Jodie Turner-Smith and Joshua Jackson were one of the internet's favorite couples, as you may remember. And everyone was shocked when they announced that they were splitting in the fall. In a recent interview, Jodie told The Times that she doesn't see divorce as failure, but that sometimes things we really want don't end up working out. But the question we're left with, is the end of a marriage failure? Is it a failure?
Well, technically it kind of is. You had an agreement. You had an agreement to love each other and be with each other forever. It didn't work out. It was not a success. So that is the definition of a failure. You didn't fail. Your partner didn't fail. But the marriage, it failed.
Wait.
And failure doesn't have to be a bad, dirty word.
Well, I think, okay, think of it this way. I don't agree with that, and I'll just put it to you this way. Say I start off and I want to get into a career path. I want to be an electrical engineer, and that's really what I know in my heart I want to do that, and I do it for 23 years, and then I change my mind, and I go back to school because I'm a different person, and I get into a different career path. Is that considered a failure?
That was an agreement with yourself, not with someone else.
I know, but here's the deal. Sometimes, but we ebb and we flow through life.
That's
so
beautiful.
Sometimes what we want at 23 is not what works for us at 41.
But again, that's an agreement with you. That's an agreement with you, not with someone else. You literally, if you're married in the traditional sense, you literally signed a piece of paper that says, I'm going to be with you together. It failed. Did you learn things? I bet so. Are you better off? Hopefully. But the marriage failed. I'm being pedantic, but it's a failure.
I think, like, if we are looking at, this is an interesting thing about how we think of words, because technically you're right. Like, if you did stand up in front of a group of people and you signed papers that said we're going to be with each other till death do us part, you did fail. But that doesn't mean that we have to look at, like, I've been sitting here with my son all the time saying, like, what mistakes did you make today? How is failure something that you can learn from? And we all know failure, we immediately get this reaction of like, oh, it's so judgy, or, oh, I'm a terrible person because something failed. No, we actually have reclaimed that word. If you Google, like, is marriage an ending a failure? Most people will say no. They'll have the reaction that you did. But quite really, it's because we've learned from it. But that doesn't mean it, like, those two things can't exist at the same time.
Yeah, and you're always so good at kind of making us see that.
Two things can be true at the same time. It's
almost
okay.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
But I will say, though, that in terms of a marriage and failure, like, to me, yeah, is it a failure? I mean, the divorce rate is what, 50%? Yeah. Right? Like, I don't know why we're still getting married, because there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people getting divorced. Now,
maybe the problem is the institution.
Exactly.
Right?
You're exactly right, Cynthia. Maybe the problem is the institution of marriage. So much so that in Mexico, just over 10 years ago, they had to toy with this idea. There were so many people getting divorced in Mexico City. The courts couldn't keep up. So they said, you know what, we have an idea. We're going to issue marriage licenses. They're good for 2 years. After 2 years, you can decide if you want to renew, and if you don't want to renew, you let the marriage license expire, and you are officially divorced.
It's like leasing a car.
Right? And I'll tell you why that's a great idea. Because it forces the couple to audit their relationship.
Yes.
It forces you to say, do we want to stay together or not?
I love this idea, and I'll tell you what. I'm in the stage of life where the men that I'm dating now most of them have a divorce under their belt. And I'd say 75% of those men, when I'm sitting across from them, like, you had no business getting divorced. You needed to work things out with your wife. I'm sitting across from somebody who is still madly in love with their wife, but you gave up too early. And if you think about it, now most people go into marriages like, yeah, we do this, and if it doesn't work, we'll just get out of it. And older generations, the grandparents that we love to be like, oh, they've been married for 53 years. Grandma and grandpa held on real tight through some really tough times.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they did.
Now, people are quick to get out, and before they're even fully out, they're swiping on some app and they're presenting themselves to be single. It's like, no, you're not. You need to go back. You need to go back to that marriage. That's just a PSA for everybody.
Andrea, who are you going to date?
I'll find somebody.
Hey there, what did you think? Drop your comments below and join the conversation. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you can find more on everything from food and fashion to pop culture and current events. See you soon.